The budgets for activities and resident engagement inside of senior living are notoriously tight. So as an activity director or an administrator trying to improve the experience of daily living at your community, it's very important that you make each dollar work as hard as it can. We're going to have to think like an investor. And an investor thinks in terms of return on investment. For us, we have to think along the same ways, but it's harder to really translate what the return is and how are we valuing it and what's our cost to capital. We don't need all that. I've made it very simple. I have this diagram here, and it's quite advanced, but I think we can all follow along. Smiles per dollar. This is the best, simplest, and most effective way to think of your budget. Smiles per dollar. I have unfortunately worked with some activities directors whom I gave additional funding to, and they found the most incredible way to waste that money immediately. And I mean putting an extra $700 a month into their budget, and they immediately went out and bought $625 worth of flowers that they threw away in 2 weeks. That is not what you want to be. That is the way to not get the additional funding. What I recommend is think about your current activities, what the residents enjoy the most. You should know your trends, know what's going to be a hit, know what's not a hit. From here, you can decide where is our funding going to get the most smiles for every dollar spent. Case in point, happy hour. We might have a community that cares a lot more about wine. And so we don't want to buy the cheapest wine option, but to go with the most expensive wine option would be wasteful. So maybe we hit a middle ground with each bottle. Maybe for our happy hour, the residents do not care about what kind of wine, but they really want the treats. They want the fancy meats. They want the fancy cheeses. Well, then that's where you're going to put your money. If they enjoy outings more, let's get some extra funding to go do that. Maybe we have the budget go towards an extra staff member for a couple of hours on that day. This is where, when you're looking at your activities based on your resident preferences, you can start to predict what's going to be a high smile per dollar activity, what's going to be a high smile per dollar improvement on an existing activity, and what's going to be really nice but just not worth it for your community. So please keep the smiles per dollar in mind. Don't make it too complicated. It's very simple. It's very simple on purpose because it scales. Use this to get and keep additional funding for your community. And I hope this helps improve the experience of daily living at your community.